ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय।
श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि।
रामानुजदया पात्रम् ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणम् श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यम् वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम्।
சீரொன்று தூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஊரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्य कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि। रामानुजदया पात्रं ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणं श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यं वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम्।
சீரொன்று தூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஓரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப்போளவும் வாழ்வு. So we are continuing to the page. I think page number is just above or down. Okay. 14. Yeah, 14. So this is again Sri Pancaratra Raksa, blessed by Swami Vedanta Deshika to us. And then we are going through the second stanza from page 14. Mukhya adhikarinaha santi yadi gauna adhikarinaha swatantrena praveshtavyaha prasadecha swatantrake. Now, we are now categorizing the people who are involved in the worship of the Lord. There are some important officers, important personnel, and if there are some intermediary, rather temporary, or what we call incumbents, so they are called Gauna Adhikarinaha. So for certain occasions we invite them and we have their service done, and then after the service they go back to their original places. But the important officers remain in the same place all the time. So Mukhya Adhikarinaha, Mukhya important Adhikarinaha, personnel involved, Santi, if there are there, Yadi if Santi are there, then Gaunadhikarinaha, occasional officers. So what are the rights for these two categories of people? Whether they are important personnel or the other one, what we call temporary employees, they must be allowed freedom to go in. Swatantrena, with freedom, praveshtavyaha, they must be given entry. They must not be stopped. They should not have any hamper. Prasadecha swatantrake. If the temple is as big as a palace, we call it prasadaha. Even the people connected with the temple are given some quarters to live, houses to live. So if the houses are called palaces, prasadaha, a spacious bungalow we say, they must be allowed to live in there without any hindrance. Swatantrake prasadi. Now, iti thus, swatantrena swakiyena prak pravritta shastrena iti artha. The meaning, the purport of this verse is, why should we say about the freedom of people entering into the temple or their houses here? They must have no hassle in entering into the temple. As said earlier, Prak, it is not we that give them who have to give them freedom, but they must take it on their own. Swakiyena. They must feel one with the God, rather in the sense they must have sincere devotion, and they must rededicate themselves to the temple. So, Swatantrena Swakiyena, Prak Pravritta Shastrena. Pravritta Shastrena, already the science is on. Pravritta means is on. Already it has been in practice. So, they know the Pancaratra Agama, and therefore, so with that knowledge in mind, with that wisdom in mind, they must know that they are totally free, scot free. So, Ekayana Vidhanasya Anyatra Visheshatascha. Ekayana Vidhanasya Anyatra Praveshe Pratyavaya Atipraveshe Pratyavayaha. I think I mixed both, sorry. So, Ekayana Vidhanasya Anyatra Praveshe Pratyavayaha. विशेषतश्च एकायन विधानस्य अन्यत्र प्रवेशे प्रत्यवाय अतिशयः च तत्र एव उक्तः. Now, in the different categories of the Pancharatra Sampradaya, we have already seen what is Ekayana Vidhanam. So, Ekayana Vidhanam is a particular special procedure for Pancharatra worship. So, in this special case, if the people have to enter on the basis of Ekayana Vidhanam, then they will have some hindrance, they will have some trouble, they will have some difficulty. But what about the difficulty? How to enter by those people who follow Ekayana Vidhanam? We have the statement down. So, Pratyavaya Atishayascha. The peculiar situation where some interruption is there. How to resolve that interruption? So, Tatrayvoktaha, it is said there itself. So, Tat Siddhanta Anyamargena Sthapitam Bimbam Alaye Ajnanat Athava Mohat Ekayana Vidhanataha Archayan Apadam Sarvam Apnotiha Paratracha. Unfortunately, if the figure, the solid figure of the Lord is consecrated, Sthapitam is generally meaning established, meaning that here it has been consecrated in a temple, alaye, bimbam, the figure. Tat siddhanta anyamargena. Instead of following a particular pattern of that particular temple, if some other procedure has been unfortunately inadvertently followed, tat siddhanta anyamargena, in another way, ajnanat, by ignorance, athava, or else, mohat, out of confusion, ekayana vidhanataha. Supposing another category of temple is used with ekayana vidhanam, then the worship at that temple with a different category of agama will land us in trouble. So all catastrophes will fall on the people who do worship, and it applies to every temple also. And how to decide about a temple, what vidhanam is being used there. It is by tradition immemorial. We do not know where the origin happened. For example, it happened in Srirangam. Previously, Tengalai Sampradaya people held the power of certain sancta sanctora, like what we call Dhanvantari Sannidhi behind the Sri Ranganatha, and so many others. There are 52 Sannidhis in Srirangam. So some of them, of course, they are minor. So they have been shifted from one sampradaya to another sampradaya. So now some of the sanctorums are in the hands of another sampradaya people. For example, Vadagalai sampradaya people have given room to Tengalai sampradaya people, and that is what we call South tradition. So the North tradition. So another example here is when you enter into the temple, what we call Ranga Gopuram, where you leave out your footwear. Then when you enter onto your left side, we have got Nathamuni Sannidhi. Nathamuni is the most important, well-remembered preceptor in Vadagalai Sampradaya. Of course, as well as common to Tengalai Sampradaya. And the tradition started with Nathamuni. So, Nathamuni Pravrittam, we say in Sanskrit. Lakshminatha Samarambham Nathayamuna Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. We follow the tradition of the preceptors. After Goddess Mahalakshmi and Lord Simanarayana, we have the next important preceptor is Nathamuni. So Nathamuni Sannidhi now has been taken over by Tengalai Sampradaya people. No, it is not that a group of people will change over the tradition of the Pancaratra Agama, but still there are some minor changes. So those minor changes are also significant, and therefore it's a warning. So it's not a threat. It's not a threat, but it's a warning in the verse which now we read. Archayan apadam sarvam apnoti he paratra cha, meaning in this world also in the next world. Yeah, originally Srirangam was Vaikhanasa. Okay, that's right. That's what I say. That's what I say. So it's a what you call warning. It's a what you call precautious instruction. It is not a what you call saying anything very negative and threatening us not to do anything. Evam Ekaika Siddhanta Stitana. So we are all divided into different traditions. So each tradition, Ekaika Siddhanta Stitana, Siddhantara Kriyasu, Siddhantantara Kriyasu. Suppose we do actions, perform activities beyond our scope, in the sense beyond our knowledge, then Yathokta Prakriya Anadhikari. We don't know exactly what should be the right way, procedure for performing the Agama worship. Therefore, we have no rights to interfere into another tradition. So we must look at the book, get instructions from scholars, elderly people who are proficient and familiar with that. So Yathokta Prakriyaya, so the procedure as said in the book or as advised by elders, anadhikare, when we don't have rights, what happens? Samarchite. So when you try to, what we call, make a compensation, you say that I know this, and then you proceed with that. Then siddhantantara pratishtiteshu bhagavad-alayeshu. So when you enter into a temple where your tradition is different from the tradition of the temple, because the God's temples, Bhagavad-alayaha, siddhantantara pratishtite. So when they have been established with another tradition, then tadanya sarvesham, tadanya siddhantasthithanam. When we are different from that tradition, then pradakshina, pranama, malakarana, deepa, aropana, sammarjana, sechana, upalepana, alankarana, rakshana, sambardhana, havihi, adi, samarpana, stotra, adi. Now, sadharana dharmanam api patishedha prasangam ashankya parijahar. Now, we are involved in so many activities like this, listed here, beautifully listed here by Swami Vedanta Deshika. So we know that there are some common aspects among these siddhantas, among these traditions. But still, how to go in circumambulation, pradakshina. Of course, there is no much difference between circumambulation in the matter of circumambulation, because pradakshina. Generally, but if you go to Kerala, what happens is you go almost 3/4 of the prakara, and then you have to return in the same route. Whereas in Tamil Nadu, in other places, you go a full round. So there is a pradakshina procedure itself is different, right? Okay. So again, some people wrongly do this, namely go apradakshinam, what we call anti-clockwise, because they want to solve their problems of life around the 9 planets, Navagraha Sannidhi. That has been ill advised by some astrologers also, and therefore they do that. Otherwise, pradakshinam always means clockwise circumambulation. Then how to salute, how to wash, how to prostrate. You must come back after reaching Chandikeshwara. Okay, that's right. So, or Vishnu Durga we say. So pranama, how to salute, where to salute, how to salute. So generally, we prostrate before Dvajastamba, the pillar where the flag is hoisted for festivals, and then sometimes inside also. So there are some perfect procedures for pranama. Pranama here also includes mantras like Dvaya mantra or 14-syllabled mantra, 6-syllabled mantra. Okay, Jitante Stotra. Now that comes later. Last aspect is Stotradinam. Look at that word, Stotradinam. Yeah, again, more and more activities are there. Stotra is praising that is by Jitante Stotra. So again, Malakaram. So how to string garlands? Malakaram. So it is not of course priest's duty to string garlands. Now today we buy from shops. And we have to give specific instructions to, okay, verse 1 at Dvajastambha. Okay. See, Stotra, though the first one is recited, but later on, the full Jitante Stotram is recited only at the end. Okay, we make a beginning, good beginning. Okay, so Mala Karanam. Mala Karanam is making of garlands. In fact, what you can also add decorating the Lord. How to decorate the Lord? What is to be first? What is the first garland? Tulasi, Vaijayanti Mala. So add Kaustubham or if you want. Then artificial Srivatsam. Then you have what we call Vimana Padakam in Srirangam. Vimana Padakam in Srirangam. You have a replica of the Vimanam, the dome at the top, and you have a small garland depicting the Vimanam. So over the chest, so Malakar. So whatever decoration you make, how to do it? This is different from different traditions. And even the priest will make different ways of decoration every day. Every day. Supposing the Lord, whoever it is to made as what we call Vennai Thali Krishnan. So Navanita Patram will be there. That is what we call the butter pot will be in the hand of the Lord. Make him Krishna, whoever it be. The name may be anything, but on that particular day, he will be called child Krishna with a butter pot. So this is only an example. So we have what we call Mohini Alankaram on the previous day of Vaikuntha Ekadashi, which Keshava Das Swami and others know well, very well. Then Deepa Aropan. So how to light the lamp, when to light the lamp, where to light the lamp. So Deepa Aropanam. Then Sammarjanam, even while cleaning. What should be the material to clean? You cannot take anything and clean. Sammarjanam, cleaning. Then Sechanam is sprinkling. So sprinkling water. After brooming, we use the water to sprinkle. And then Upalepanam. So what we call soap, wash, dry wash or something like that. So Upalepanam generally meaning ointment. So application. So application of cleanliness, how to clean. Then Alankaranam, the entire hall decoration, the whole sanctum sanctorum. Can Malakaranam here mean taking away the Nirmalyam? Yeah, that's the first duty. Yesterday's old flowers will be taken out, faded flowers, so which lost their smell. So they have to be removed first. So while you remove the garlands, the yesterday's garlands, old garlands from the Lord, in this particular case, Ranganatha will give us the darshan of Prayoga Chakram or Agneya Chakram. The Sudarshana disc is ready to attack the enemies of the devotees. And therefore, Pradakshanam, Pranama, Nirmalyam, removal, light lamp in Sannidhi, right? So what material to light? Ghee, sarpish or ajyam, as we call it in different words. Yeah. Then we have alankaranam. Then rakshanam. Rakshanam is the procedure we say as bhuta. What do you call it? The word is first word, Bhuta Siddhi, Bhuta Siddhi. Shuddhi, yes, Bhuta Shuddhi. So that is called another way of saying it, Rakshana. So we have hand expressions to make Raksha. So protection. Then Samvardhanam, mudras are there. Swarabhi mudra is one of them. And then the entire divine figure is also being protected. Then Samvardhanam is making it grow in the sense making it rich. So the See, the flowers are offered by the devotees, and when they offer their flowers, where to place them? Go on increasing the beauty of the Lord. Rather, the Lord beautifies the flowers. Then Haviradi Samarpan. So this is in connection with what you call the sacrifice, the fire, the fire ritual, where what should be offered as Havihi. Generally, Havihi meaning what you call cooked rice, and it can be any other material according to the Agama. And then Samarpan, Charu, yes, Charu, of course, with the ladle, with a big spoon. So Haviradi Samarpan, so submission of the materials in fire rituals, Shruva, right. Then again, finally, praise, eulogy, adoration by words, Stotradina, vocal adoration. So there are certain common aspects among all these actions. See, a very big list is given. Pradakshina, pranama, malakarana, deeparopana, sammarjana, sechana, upalepana, alankarana, rakshana, sammardhana, haviradi samarpana, stotra. Then sadharana dharmanam api. So among them, these certain common aspects are prohibited. It's because the traditions are different. Pratisheda bhangam ashankya. In every activity, we must suspect some difference between traditions. We must identify those differences. Then only there will be no mistake occurring. There should be no lacuna. There must be no deficiency in our actions. So neither too much or neither less, nor less as prescribed by the Shastra. Pratisheda. Supposing we use the opposite material. For example, the certain flowers are not offered to Lord Vishnu. Hibiscus, for example. We call it in Tamil Shempariti. We call another flower Arali. It's called I think Arka flower. It's used for Vinayaka. It's not used for Lord Vishnu. So why there is a difference? Why not? See, patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati. It needs only bhakti, as Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Whatever be the leaf, patram, pushpam, the flower, a flower from the wild forest, phalam, any fruit, toyam, water. So all this must be submitted to him with devotion. That's all he says. But the specific instructions are given for us to offer only the basil leaves, Osimum sanctum, as it is called botanically, to Tulasi to Tirutturai to Lord Vishnu, Vilvam to Lord Shiva. Shaivagama is completely different, and therefore let us not go there into controversy. But here, in the case of Lord Vishnu, certain flowers are offered, certain leaves are offered. Bilva leaves are offered to goddess Ranganayika in Srirangam, I feel. I think it's not prohibited. Okay. Bilvam is used in Tirupati. There was even now there is a wrong discussion that whether Tirupati Srinivasa has been goddess Shakti, Parvati, or even Lord Kartikeya. But all those wrong arguments have been dismissed by so many substantiable proofs by IAS officers of all the tradition and scientific analysts of the Tirupati temple. But the tradition, yes, Ramanuja made that out. So with that, so what do we do? When there are differences even in this aspect, and there are even common aspects, there are also some minor differences. What should you do? Parijahar, avoid. Simply avoid. Don't argue. Don't argue with the Vedas. Don't argue with the Agamas. Why? How? And so on. So don't ask questions. In what we call Patanjali's Mahabhashya, a great commentary on grammar by a sage called Patanjali, who was the incarnation of Adishesha himself, the great serpent. He says, Nishkaranaha. Don't ask reason why. Nishkaranaha, Brahmanena, Vedaha, Adhyayaha, Nyayaha cha. A spiritual person should learn scriptures with all its limbs, 6 limbs, and understand them also. Not only recite these scriptures, understand them. Don't ask question why I should learn. So here, so in the page 15, Pradakshina Pranamadi Radhante. Radhantam is another word for Siddhanta. That's all. Anyatra Kevalam Vihitam na Archanam Kuryat Raja Rashtra Bhayav. Again, it's a what we call potential threat. It seems to be a potential threat. So the king and the kingdom will have morbid fear over the future if the temple worship is changed at the whims and fancies of the people involved. So, starting with the pradakshina, circumambulation, pranama, the salutation, radhante in the tradition, anyatra, somewhere else, kevalam, just only, vihitam na archan. If worship is not fixed there, is not recommended there, is not prescribed there. Archanam is actually offering flowers or any other good material over saying the names of the Lord. Kshamyata, okay. You can add your what do you call clarification at the end of the session. Thank you very much for coming and joining. So Archanam na vihitam. So if the Archana is not performed, now you would have seen by yourself when you go to the temple and to the sanctum sanctorum and the priest will say, today the water is not offered to you before this time. They fix the time. Tulasi Tiruttura is not given to you. Kunkumam is not offered to you. Then again Archanam is not done for you. We are eager to say our Gotra, Nakshatra, the star, the family name, clan, then never name and the Rashi, that so zodiac and so on, to pray for some solutions to the problems of life. But the priest says no Archanam today. Archana இன்னைக்கு இல்லை. So there is some what you call prohibition for certain times. That's all. Not continuously the whole day or whole week or something. So vihitam narcham. One example will be, suppose Sri Ranganatha has been applied with oil. So there will be no Tiruvadi Seva, what you call darshan of the divine feet for 40 days, twice in a year. And therefore, so only the Tirumukha Mandalam, only the divine face is worshipped, and the total what you call Ennai Kappu is. That means there are some procedures where we cannot have what we want. So iti. Kuryat, na archanam vihitam kuryat. So don't do that archanam. that will create fear in Raja and Rashtra, the king and the country, rather in today leaders of the country and the nation. Tatra Vimshe Adhyaya. So in this context, in the 19th chapter, Siddhanta Sankare, so when you have mix-up of the traditions, Pratyavayam, the difficulty that we face, Vistarena Pratipadya has been presented in detail. After presenting the difficulties in detail, Vistarena, Asankirna Siddhanta Dharmanam. So there are traditions which are unmixed, unsullied by other differences. So Asankirna, they are not mixed, unmixed Siddhanta Dharmanam in the aspects of the traditions. Eva Adhikarinam Anyonya Sambandhadi Yogyatvam. The people who are involved, Adhikari meaning the right hair, H-E-I-R. The right hairs will have the qualification to find out the mutual link between the traditions. Anyonya Sambandha Adi Yogyatvam. When we are familiar with that, when we are not familiar, Itaresham for others too, but Bhashyanam Iva, as though we are just devotees going to the temple. Bhashyanam Iva, just like the outsiders. Varjaniyatvam api pratipadi. We cannot imitate or substitute the actions of the priests when even the people who do not know the contents of the tradition will not have any access to these activities. So they will be just like outsiders. So before going to the further pack of verses, starting with Siddhantanam Chaturnam to Sankaryam Vyasanavaham. I think there are some more negative statements which prevent us from having a false knowledge or superficial knowledge of the Pancaratra tradition. Unless we are delving deep into the tradition, we may not be fit enough to do those activities.
रामानुजदया पात्रम् ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणम् श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यम् वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम्
कवितार्किकसिंहाय कल्याणगुणशालिने श्रीमते वेङ्कटेशाय वेदान्तगुरवे नमः. சீரொன்று தூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஊரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. ஓம்